It is day 5 today, and we are inside the Senate building, waiting to go into
Lee Zeldin, EPA.
yeah, the confirmation hearings for Lee Zeldin for head of the Environmental Protection Agency. So after this, we're going to probably go and do some interviews in the street, talk to some people.
What we do best.
See what we can get.
And I've enjoyed your testimony. You will find we never make the same mistake twice. We make it 3 or 4 times to make sure that we get it right.
So what we're talking about is the importance of lowering the cost. And they have different approaches and different ideas on the table. Everyone in that room is committed to lowering the cost of housing that is urgently necessary for the American people.
And will you
that's
work
what
with-
that area is all about.
Will you work with Trump's administration on
I
that?
will work with anyone who will work to lower the cost of housing for
Does that
American
include,
families.
does that
I will
include
work with
regulations,
anyone.
removing regulations?
Look, we have a problem with local regulations right now that drive up the cost of housing. I have a housing bill you might want to take a look at that is all about how to get those regulations and red tape down so that we can build more housing.
We look forward to it.
And guys, we want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, BankX, for helping us make all this possible, this trip to DC and everything we're doing. It's an incredible stable coin. If you don't know what that is, if you want your cryptocurrency value to remain stable, then you get it in a stable coin. Typically, stable coins track the price of $1, but we know that that's a depreciating asset. The value of $1 is down 97% since it came into being. Terrible investment. BankX stablecoin tracks the price of silver, which is a much better store of value than the US dollar. So you can check them out at bankx.io. All right, we are actually at our first dinner right now that we've had out, David and I. We got Kamal here all the way from
Vancouver, Washington.
Washington.
49, baby.
And then Miss Sarah Phillips here, finally off the plane, coming to us from
Salem, Oregon.
Salem, Oregon. She is really deep with the Oregon legislature and the Young Republicans.
Yeah.
And
Same here.
Same there.
Washington State Republicans represent LD 49 and might be a future candidate for House Representative in the 49th District.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And Sarah, where are we at right now?
So this place is El Presidente. We're in Washington, D.C. Fantastic appetizers so far. We're going to have a couple more people join us. But it's just a vibe here. It's really fun.
That's right. And of course, not last,
But not least.
we got Mr. David Kate.
Doing the hardest part as always, trying to figure out what am I gonna have to drink. And
There's
then
only,
I've been looking at it for a solid 5 minutes. So
And it's snowing outside today.
snow is something that us people in the South never see. So when we walked out, naturally I had to act like a little kid, start filming it and all of it. I love the snow.
Well, we're gonna have some good conversation, eat some good food, and when Maria gets here, she'll be sitting there, so we'll get her on camera. You guys, this is our 1 week here in DC, and this morning we are back in the Senate office buildings.
The usual.
We are going to see Kristi Noem
Ooh, that's gonna be great. Well,
for
we don't know.
Homeland Security. So, well.
Governor, what's the first thing you'll do as Secretary of DHS?
Yeah, well, you sat in the hearing today, so tell us your takeaways.
So we've actually been going to a number of these confirmation hearings, including Eric Scott Turner yesterday, the Pam Bondi one a few days ago. And it's so interesting to see how these senators approach the different nominees. So, for instance, Pam Bondi was a lot more, I guess you can say, spunky, whereas Kristi Noem was a lot more straight to your face, by the book. And it was interesting seeing how different Democratic senators, especially during the Pam Bondi nomination, kept talking about Kash Patel, even though Kash Patel had nothing to do with that nomination hearing.
So what were your takeaways? I mean, in terms of the highlights, you pointed Pam Bondi. I watched some of hers. She's so, it's like she's playing chess, 3D chess. She's so ahead of the game. There probably was no question that stumped her, was there?
You know, there wasn't, and I believe it came from her prosecutorial background. She was also very still, very calm. Her left hand was typically always at that same exact position. Mm-hmm. She was unflustered. She did something really unique where, and Elon Musk does this, where if they're asked a question, they stop and pause before they answer the question so that they have something to say instead of just trying to get the words out quickly.
That's a great observation.
I mean, I guess I watched some of the Kristi Noem hearing today, and I really didn't see much. Democrats really didn't have anything. There wasn't anything that they really had used against her, or there was no really excitement, as you saw kind of in the Pete Hegseth hearing, which was very different.
You know, I was actually interested in seeing how the Democrats would come at her. We believe that they would hit her with questions, being that she's a governor and she's going into this new position with such a large organization. But, and you're right, I didn't see that. I saw a lot more, especially in the Pam Bondi hearing. Elizabeth Warren, which was she's the co-head of the HUD committee. Yesterday, we actually approached her after she was questioning Eric Scott Turner, and we asked her the very first question when she came out of the committee room, are you going to work with Trump to provide more housing and decrease the cost of housing? And she says, yes, of course. And we said, does that include deregulating? Because that's a major issue. And the answer she gave us, she said, go read my bill.
Well, Josh Hawley asked Kristi Noem about the southern border being secure. Did Democrats have any reaction at all to the fact that southern border is not secure?
Well, you know, one thing that I saw is that a lot of the Democratic senators actually left after they finished their questioning, which I was a bit appalled because I would assume that if it's such an important hearing, you'd want to get all the information out. But they were in and out. They were talking to their aides, going to get coffee, which was really interesting. So that's something I did not actually, I was not ready for, something like that.
Sounds like they might have just been grandstanding and wanting to have their moment in the sun. That's what it sounds to me like. Well, Fabian, thank you so much for your perspective and giving us an inside look on these hearings. Thanks so much.
And now we are out at dinner with French restaurant. We had a great day today. Went to the confirmation hearings. Went on Real America's Voice and talked about the confirmation hearings, which I'll play a clip right now. And then we cleaned up the Airbnb. And now coming to get dinner. Starting tomorrow, we have all of the events. So this is our last quiet night before things get crazy.
It's a wild day, and we almost got Kristi Noem to answer our question, which would have been the first official cabinet member to interact with the media. Almost. Her staff turned her away. That's cool.
Look at this, the F1 arcade bar here in DC. It's not just arcades.